Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cloudy Sheep, and we are playing Command Modern Naval and Air Operations. I actually just had to restart this episode because the game crashed, so I hope that's not gonna be a permanent issue. But well, it was only a couple of minutes in, so we'll see pretty quickly, I guess. We are playing the Canary Cage scenario, so we are trying to reconquer the Canary Islands down here from the Islamic Alliance, which is pretty much in Morocco over here, though they are certainly having material from other sides. We just positioned ourselves so that we will soon be attacking these fleet of Ramadan craft over here. Four craft very dangerous to us, and more importantly, or more immediately I would say, we have launched a flight of Harriers down here to maybe fight off these guys. We'll have to see. And very soon we will probably be attacking these guys up here, which is a flight of enemy fighters, which we guess are F-16s. We just launched our Harriers from up here and over Gibraltar here. We are flying very low, so we are behind the radar shadow of this mountain range up here, whereas these guys are flying very high, so we could spot them with our radar up here. Both of these flights are running silent, so without any emissions, so I guess very soon we will hopefully get the jump on them. I think they haven't seen us yet, so we hope that I'll resume over here, and we hope that they are not seeing us right now, and hopefully for a while. Also going to move in slightly, and just hope that soon we'll be able to launch. I don't want to launch too soon because they might be right now they're moving perpendicular to us, so they might even move out of the engagement range over here. I guess they're traveling at 350 kilometers. Our missiles, our AMRAAMs here, have a typical speed of quite a bit more, 2,000 miles per hour more, so hopefully that's going to be fine, especially if they don't realize that they're being attacked. Although they would probably realize that in the last couple of seconds, that might be too late. Otherwise our Harriers would actually be probably in trouble, because if these are indeed F-16s, we've seen earlier that they have a higher engagement range than we do, so hopefully that's not the case, but until then we'll have to see. Also, I'm not sure why we can't... Yeah, there we go. So both of these guys are very likely hostile. There are sometimes civilian craft in the game. It's not that two-sided, but with this sort of formation, with the flight coming up here, then flying back down, that's very unlikely to be like a civilian airliner. Civilian airliners do travel at this height and probably at this speed, but just in this formation flight of two coming from an airbase that we know is hostile to us and not being on a very sensible path. Yeah, I think we can be pretty sure that these are actually enemy aircraft. Multi-role. What sensor was that? Has been generic LLTV. Okay, so I guess the Harrier has a sensor up here. Oh yeah, okay. So this is a long-range television basically, or yeah, some sort of telescope, and that has actually discovered that these are multi-role aircraft, which does fit our theory of them being F-16s. I think we are going to launch, at the very least when it comes to this, this place over here, because we don't want to pop up over the mountains too far, and I think that's going to be fine. That being said, I think we can actually start to fire off missiles very soon. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Let's pause. Let's take our flight over here and manually assign stuff to, which one is it? Multi-role 255. Okay, we're going to take the... Oh, you're out of the weapons DLZ. Okay, so the DLZ, whenever you're wondering what's going on, why you can't fire, this is because basically the aircraft, they are not sure that the MRM will actually hit them, because they are in range, that's true. These guys do have a range of 40 nautical miles, but if we are launching now and these guys would turn around, they would immediately move out of the range, or by the time that the missile arrives there, they would be actually out of range. So right now it's not quite sure that they would actually be able to do that. Let's also just briefly check how high this stuff actually is. About 3,000 feet. Okay, and pause again, because I really want to get a manual launch up here. Okay, let's see if we can't find anything in the doctrines window here. Weapons authorization. Yeah, you should be authorized to. Yes, you are. Generally, words of engagement, inherent tide for positively, yes. We positively identified that manually, so that should be fine. And engage ambiguous target, pessimistic, optimistic. We'll place them at optimistic here, and maybe see if that is torpedoes. That's a similar question, but it's not relevant for air weapons. Yes, you certainly want that. All of this should be fine. This is all irrelevant. This is all return to base. Strafing. So should the gun be strafing? No. That's fine. Let's see if that changes anything if we wait for 2 seconds. No. Come on! I know it's fine to fire these. Why don't you? It is possible to launch at any altitude, right? Yes. The problem is at some point here we'll probably need to increase our altitude, just so, and that might trigger a response from their side, which would obviously be bad. Although at this point our missiles would probably arrive there much earlier than theirs would arrive at us. And then again, these guys have missiles that there we are, very nice. Let's see how many missiles you're firing. So we can see that this one over here indicates how many missiles are being fired upon these guys. And I certainly want that to be at least 2. Because we've seen that they were not actually that great at. So this guy has fired everything he can. These guys are not firing anything. So you, my friend, can actually shoot one of your missiles at target number 250, 255, and I also want you to target 254 with one more weapon. So that means that very soon we will probably see one of them is being targeted by 1 and the other by 2 missiles. And there we go, both of them are targeted by 2 missiles. Can we get a good view of which aircraft here is which? So get to unit view. And select the aircraft that have already you know what, we'll all keep them together for the while. We could send the first 2 guys back, but then again there's not much sense in doing that. By the way, you can tell groups from individual planes by their symbols. So this group symbol has this broad arch and the small arch down there, so I guess that's understandable, hopefully. You can also see that these missiles here have a flight path that puts them at the expected intercept with this guy, right? So hopefully that should be fine. We also take the flight and go to the minimum possible altitude, so that they will be discovered a bit later and as late as possible. Let's wait for a second. Here, Boogie has been identified as Mirage. I don't think that's these guys. I think that's what's been happening down here, right? We've seen mirages coming in here, or stuff that we thought were mirages. But it doesn't seem to be like that. Oh! Okay. F-16, so we do know... Have we seen this fighter before? I don't think we have. Okay, but here are two mirages, and let's see what they're capable of. These guys don't have that much of an agility. Mirages are normal sort of speed. It's generally a fixed wing attack aircraft, so if we look at the weapon systems, it has yes, a gun and a lot of guided sort of weapons. Surface ships by just general purpose bombs. Okay, that I don't find that threatening because of the range. And some intermediate sort of anti-aircraft stuff. This is probably the super 530F here is probably the most dangerous thing it has, because it's pretty quick but has a sort of intermediate range, so we'll have to see whether this really poses much of a threat, but we'll definitely see that later on. For now, we'll focus on this engagement up here. We got 4 missiles coming in to these two guys, who seem to be still unaware, or are they turn away? No, they also haven't sped up yet. There we go. We see that they are. They've just been identified by the TV thing, and they're now accelerating. So they spotted basically this missile coming into them. They hit up their afterburners. They're now moving very, very quickly, trying to evade, dropping also in altitude to maybe get below their radar coverage, but this guy has already put up active radar, so these guys now probably only know what type of missile is coming in. And the fuel is running out here, so we'll have to see if that actually works, but hopefully... No. Miss. Last one. Come on! How am I missing so bad? Let's look at what's happening here. So the first one got there was a decoy, generic chaff, and that basically with a 15% chance resulted in a success. Okay, fair enough. So the weapon missed the target. Next one, the chaff didn't work, but with a 54% hit chance, we rolled a miss, so that's too bad. Next one, again, the chaff did not work, but with 46%, we rolled a miss. Then again, we got a 48% hit chance, and we missed again. I honestly find this a bit frustrating. We are missing so much with... I mean, it's about 50-50, and we are missing 4 missiles in total. So that really is a bit frustrating. We're now having 4 more missiles, and since we are so close, I guess we will continue our flight path here and just try to get into sidewinder range, because otherwise I think we might be a bit screwed. What are these guys doing now? They're still pretty low, which probably is an attempt to get out of radar range, and they did that quite well, because they've been now lost for 10 seconds. So we will turn our radars on, because that means we are much more likely to spot them. We will also climb a bit, just so again we might be able to see them. But I think they have evaded us pretty successfully at this point. Yeah, Our missiles also can't spot them really. And we've been out of target lock for 20 seconds there. Yeah, there we go. They traveled really far by now. Because now Sidewinders are being launched. Sorry. The MRAMs here are attempting to retarget, but probably not being that successful at it. Could you launch a couple of more Sidewinders at them, please? Pretty please. Yeah, let's do that manually. Take this flight. Shift 1. Sidewinder out of DLZ. Okay. I'm not sure where that is. I mean, they are traveling pretty fast. We also want you to be at low altitude after all. And please turn in a bit. Are you still unable to launch? Sidewinders. AMRAM is self-destructing, that's fine. Come on, come on, why? Sidewinder adjusted, final hit chance 23%, okay, that's bad, but some of this stuff really should be hitting them, right? Launch. You know what, guys? I'm going to tell you in the document over here to generally you may actually use your gun. I don't think it will actually do that, but we will at least try. They're about 4,000 feet above ground level, whereas we are not that different, I think. Come on, can I please select the flight and try to attack this guy. You shouldn't be on plotted course, I told you to attack. Can you turn in? Turn north, yes. Nice. One hit at least. Nice. Okay. So actually our Sidewinders got them, which is just as well because we only have 2 left. Yeah, very good, very nice. Let's see just how far we got in. A bit close, to be honest, for my liking. So what we're going to do is just travel while returning to base. I don't want you to be returning to base just like that, because that would just mean they fly over there. We will try to get a bit north at minimum altitude and military speed instead. And in terms of sensors, you can please turn off your radar. So you're a bit less visible. And you're flying straight up. Yes, very good. Also very low. I think we might not even be in radar range anymore. Very good. Good job, guys. Good job. We can also set up a flight path that will be a bit more complicated, but should nevertheless be fine. Whoop, that's not what I wanted. Okay, no, never mind. Yeah, there we go. That should work. And at this point, you may actually climb to low altitude. At this point, you might climb to this type of low altitude, and here you can I actually go to medium altitude again. Good. Very nice. Let's see what everyone else is doing up here. So these guys are withdrawing, so I think this flight can actually go back and sort of loiter speed. So classical air combat patrol. These guys down here don't seem to be doing much, so that I guess is fine. We haven't really spotted any one of these, but these guys are still very dangerous. They're actually getting closer to us. You hopefully are loitering. Yes, you are. And I think we had this guy over here, which I'm going to move slightly up there. And here we have probably our harpoons. Right, excellent. And I think you can just go sort of straight charge at the enemy, and you will be coming up sort of like that. Sorry about the background noise, but that's hopefully not too distracting. And should cease very soon as well. Okay, here we go. Good job over here. Harriers did well, even though the AMRAAMs were still a bit of a disappointment and continue to be an issue. These guys drove up off these guys up there, and when we can see our aircraft coming in, going to speed up a bit here. Everything looks fine. Let's make sure that everything is actually fine. These guys are a bit higher now. And down there everything is fine as well, not much has changed. These guys are somewhat in a pattern down there. They might be chasing us. How fast are you going? 350, so that seems to be their cruise speed, so I don't expect that to be too bad. Speed up things a bit more. Wait, lots of stuff's happening. Been just for this. Oh yeah, so the mix down here reappeared. I think these are actually very good fighters overall. Oh yeah, and these are the ones with the Alamo 45 nautical miles warhead there. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if we can beat them, but that's going to have to wait a bit. This all seems fine. These guys are doing okay now, and we are so far out of range that I guess I can just tell them to hop up here and just do that at maximum speed, and just low altitude should be fine. Yeah, looking good now. Still stuff happening down here. And this is kind of dangerous because I think they know that this flight is here. So they probably know that due to these radar installations down here. So we should be mindful to keep out of this range. Because, again, their range is much higher than ours. And we would struggle to get our missiles in before they can. With the F-18s, it's a bit easier because there we can just basically charge at them. But with the Harriers, I believe we'd have a much more difficult time. But you can see the plane down there is turning around. We are sort of losing information on a couple of other things, but that again is fine. Please, guys, just loiter. Yes. You are doing that. You are up here, that's fine too. These flights are coming up nicely. So everything should be fine. Lots of contacts have been lost. I guess that is stuff down there. Our Harriers here. I can tell you now to please go back to base and basically disband your flight. You will be docking back at rotor. We can also check how things are going here. Stuff is being loaded up. Looking good. Looking very good actually. Like that. Oh, this is 2 hours still. But these guys should be done soon. And there'll be a bit of a reserve. Up here I think we have the tanker, yes. These guys are coming up too, sort of as a backup. Not that many flights up here, but in about 10 minutes they'll be ready. So that's good. I also think didn't we send out some Harriers earlier? Yes, we did, and they are ready again, just 2 of them though. And with the performance of the MRAMs so far, I think I'd rather not try that out too strongly. I'm not sure what this guy up here is doing, this Mirage jet. We might try to get a jump on him with the Harriers over here before their fuel runs out and before they're doing nothing at all with it. It would remove a threat, so but then again, this radar up here, we are just out of that range, so I'm not sure. Can of course dash over there. You know what? Let's see if we can't separate this flight. Can I group operations? Detach units from group select units. Formation editor? Oh no, okay, yeah. Formation editor, it's a bit pointless because with flights you don't really need to care about their formation too much. So we probably want to switch to unit view, take one of these Harriers and detach it from the group, which we probably did. Yeah, now it's squadron 9, and you please also detach. Nice, so number 7 and number 8. Number 7 and number 8 over here. Can I group you again? Group select units, yes, very nice. You guys will try to go over here. You will try to do that at high speed and a very low altitude. Nice. Whereas you guys up here, please actually go up to high altitude to conserve some fuel, and maybe move in a bit. Good. Let's see if they actually do that. We can. Well, we are at group view. Nice. Yeah. So two Harriers going that way, 2 Harriers going this way. Good, good. At low altitude, you're speeding up. You are not, but you're gaining height. You guys down here are doing whatever you're doing. Submarines are getting closer. Still no news of these guys. That's fine, we don't need to. You are just basic backup. You are not. Your fuel range is to bingo fuel, 400 nautical miles. Yes, that should be very fine. Let's speed things up a bit so we get at least to the moment just before the launch. New contact, Boogie. Detected by Seeking, which I guess is this guy. And that would be you. 3D long range. So basically this guy just picked up a radar burp from here, and we can look at we don't really know where that came from, but seeing how it's in air and surface search radar, it's 3D long range. My guess here is that this is another surveillance craft. We'll have to see if we can gather any more intel on that, but yeah, that would be my guess. This guy doesn't really have to seem much of a combat range, but I still want to fly very low to make sure that we are not being spotted. Actually go as low as you can, please. Yeah, 80 feet. So maybe that will help us not be detected by this radar dish over here. Of course, it's actually at an elevation of it's pretty high, so maybe we can evade it actually. All right, I think that's been very good. And next episode we will probably have our guys who are somewhere in here, just overflying this commercial fishing boat, Layla over here, with the harpoons. They'll probably very soon launch at these guys up here. And these guys, on the other hand, are nearly on the verge of attacking, being able to attack our main group. So I'm pretty happy that we now are able to do just that. This guy will also probably soon turn on its radar. We can actually have a look at its sensors in here in the database to see the search water here has 200 range, 200 nautical miles range, so we'll be easily able to pinpoint the location of these guys and thereby assist on the launch of the harpoons over here. This gonna have to wait until next turn. Let's make sure our Harriers are back here. That all looks fine. These guys, I think we'll set to cruise speed to conserve fuel a bit, but on the other hand, move down a bit more to the relevant AO, like that, and that should be fine. Okay, so next time we'll be fighting with mirages over here, and launch our first attack against some ships. Looking forward to that, but it's going to have to wait until next episode, so see you guys then. Bye bye.